Well, good morning, Vicarage readers. It's so good to see you again. I am here, you probably hear the echo in this room. I am here at Cornerstone Church in one of the rooms that Amanda has been working on all summer along with the rest of the staff. She's been diligently working along with staff members here at Cornerstone to get rooms ready for our children's program starting in the fall. So she's given this room, among others, a fresh coat of paint. She's taken down old bulletin boards, and she's been putting up new whiteboards, and she's been making sure that all the rooms have the right amount of chairs and working on registration and stuff. So it's been a busy summer, even though we haven't had a lot of our children's programs in place. I wanted to come down just to kind of show you some of the practical work of pastoring. Amanda was in here on Labor Day. She was laying down some new rubber matting on the floor. We use rubber matting down here just in case we ever have a flood. We don't carpet the fellowship hall, which is on the basement level of the church, because we used to have carpet here, and goodness gracious, that was a mistake. Well, anyway, I wanted to just come to give a little bit of a different venue as we begin and as we continue in our series on the weapons of our warfare. We're on part 14 now, and yesterday we took a little sidestep from talking about the weapon of love. We are going back to it, but it seems like there's more conversation to be had. Yesterday we talked about how the results of our warfare, when we fight the spiritual battle that God's called us to, we don't get to determine the results. And those results are with God. And we have to leave them there. And oftentimes the results are not anything like the results or the purposes that the world has for fighting. I want to talk a little bit more about that because we ended up in a conversation, not because of this video, but just because of coincidence, yesterday about the nature of spiritual warfare and what the purpose behind it is. We are talking about how many of the people in our region here really need a supernatural spiritual deliverance from the hand of God. And one of our staff members, or several of our staff members, asked the question, how do we get people to change? And the answer is, we don't. I can't change anybody. I can't make anybody else do anything. Heart change is not something that's in the realm of my capability. No matter how I fight, no matter how I war, no matter how I fight this fight, whether I use spiritual weapons or not, I can't change people's hearts. Only God can. And that strikes to the purpose of spiritual warfare. If we can't change people, if Jay Lilly can't change anybody, or Dan Lewiston, or Amanda Lilly, or Brenda Lilly, if we can't really actually change people, what are we doing? What's the purpose of spiritual warfare? And that's what I want to talk about today. The purpose of spiritual warfare is not to change people, although that sometimes happens. The purpose of spiritual warfare is not to create big mega churches or wealthy churches or beautiful churches, although sometimes as a result those things happen. What is the purpose of spiritual warfare then? The purpose of spiritual warfare is to create an atmosphere in which God can move to do all of those things. You see, I can't change anybody's heart. My boss can't change anybody's heart. Even the head of our movement doesn't have the power to change people's hearts, but God does. And so what we need to do is get God in. We have to let God into people's lives. We have to open doorways through which God can move to do the work that only He can do. And that's the purpose of spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare is not about me winning souls or me creating powerful programs that get lots of people to attend. That's not the purpose of spiritual warfare. The purpose of spiritual warfare is to create an atmosphere in which God is able to move to do miracles in people's lives. That's what we were talking about yesterday in staff meeting. We can't change people. We can't make people change, but we can create an atmosphere in which God can move to change people. And that's the purpose of our spiritual warfare. Love doesn't change anybody but me. When I love somebody, it doesn't actually change people's hearts. When I am joyful, it doesn't actually change people's hearts. When I am peaceful, it doesn't change other people's hearts. It sure changes my heart, but it doesn't change people's hearts. But what it does do is it lets God in through my loving heart, through my joyful heart, through my peaceful heart, so he can begin to change people's lives. That's why we want to love people, not so that they'll change, but so that God, being pleased with us, will come in and begin to work the change that needs to be worked in the situation. Love to hear your thoughts on that. Talk to you later.